All right, Turkey Tom just dropped his response. Okay, time to give it a watch. Let's see what he's got to say. I am very curious. Many people have been saying, Sleepy, why are you sleeping? Why are you sleeping? Listen, I wanted to see what he's gonna say first, frankly, because A, I don't think I can unbiasedly cover these allegations. And B, the allegations didn't have a lot of evidence or anything supporting them. I think what was more so coming out in this situation was that he had embarrassing kinks potentially. Some, I guess he might address. Let's find out.
I'm sorry that this response took so long. I wanted to make sure I had all the facts together before saying anything. Recently, I've been accused by an ex-girlfriend, along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations.
By the way, I think he's named all of the big ones. I wasn't expecting him to name the age play, but he has, so...
The two women who are accusing me, Sacramento89, real name Rowan, and Left 4 Dead, real name Katie, took to gossip forum Kiwi Farms to post the accusations, along with carefully cherry-picked screenshots to back up their claims. These claims aren't super difficult to debunk just because of the overwhelming amount of evidence I have on my side. So without further ado, let's start with Sacramento or Rowan. This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her first post. Here, she alleges that I am a real freak and like to, quote, record sexual encounters without asking for consent. This is blatantly untrue. I have never recorded any sexual encounter without explicit consent. As a matter of fact, with Rowan, she was the one who initiated the idea of filming sex acts in the first place. On Tuesday, August 19th, after 3 months of knowing each other and being sexually active, Rowan texted me saying, "You should get those Meta glasses when you crack me."
So personally, this is the allegation that worried me the most. Was he non-consensually recording people? Was he not asking for permission? I'm not saying that this completely disproves that, but it does open the window in a sense, suggesting that Rowan was already bringing up this topic. You should get those Meta glasses when you crack me. For what? Cracking time. Cracking time? Yep. Good night, Tom. You know what I mean? So I like, at least it opens up the discussion that Tom wasn't the only party interested in recording. Does that mean that every single time that Tom recorded, it was consensual? That's something that really only both of them would know.
I responded by saying, "For what?" And she answers again, "Cracking time," alluding to me filming her with the glasses onboard camera. Now, at the time, I did not feed into this. I did not show enthusiasm. I didn't even agree to get the glasses. I just responded and said, "Good night, sweet dreams." So 1 whole week goes by without us talking about it whatsoever. And then on August 25th, Rowan texts me saying, "You should get those Meta things for real." So I respond by...
So she's doubled down on this. And what's his response? "I think I'm going to avoid filming anything involving sex for a while. Given recent events, I'm paranoid." Look at this white woman, proud N-word user. Tom has never been with a white woman that won't say the N-word. But at least we have it here that she's doubled down on this idea. So that's interesting, and he's not really engaged with it much. Again, these messages have been selected by Tom, so obviously they're going to paint him in a certain light. Although I do think it's funny. N-word, you did that before? Shaking my head. I can't have any first with you. Ran through N-word. Fucking awesome.
Get those Meta things for real. So I respond by saying, "I think I'm going to avoid filming anything involving sex for a while," showing that I am clearly not the person interested in filming our sexual encounters. She is. As you can see in the text, even when I say I don't want to film us having sex, she pushes the issue. Now, to be clear, we did eventually take videos of ourselves being intimate, but I was given explicit consent every single time. And on a few occasions, she even took the phone out of my hand and was holding it while filming us. To be clear, there was never a tripod or a hidden camera. It was always handheld, and in every single video, she was clearly aware of the camera, making eye contact with the camera lens. Also, on September 8th, Rowan texts me, "I do miss it though," in regards to our sexual interactions. She follows it up by saying, "Send the videos." Keep in mind, these are videos that she claims in present day were taken without her consent. She then goes on to say, and I quote, "I will watch them and keep them close to my heart," clearly indicating she has no problem whatsoever with them existing. I'm an extremely paranoid person when it comes to my personal life and my sex life and my dating life. As a public figure, I just like to keep my private life private. So I was very hesitant to send Rowan any sexual videos we had taken. However, I did send her one single still image from one of the videos where my face is obscured. I guess there was some lingering thought in the back of my mind that if her accounts were not locked down super well, and if she had been hacked, then the videos could have been made public. Now, there's an implication she makes a few different times that I'm basically blackmailing her with these videos.
Somebody asked if you had any intention of getting any sort of like law enforcement involved, but I feel like you answered this where you just want to try to compel him to delete whatever he has on you, and that's like like the extent of your interest.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, I don't know. I'm kind of confused about what to do, but we'll see.
At no point anywhere did Rowan provide any proof of me threatening to release these videos of us having sex or threatening to send them anywhere. So she has no reason to believe that I would ever release them. The idea that I, a person who makes a living as a public figure, would publicly release videos of me fucking my ex-girlfriend to get back at her is so insane. Not only would that incur reputational harm beyond belief, but also serious legal consequences. The only person who has ever sent an image of us having sex to anyone is, ironically, Rowan. Days after I broke up with her, she, without my consent, sent the only image she has of us having sex to the owner of Kiwi Farms. Here, listen to him describe it.
Oh, and one other thing, I forgot about this, but you actually, Sacramento had sent me a picture that was like censored. Apparently the only picture that he would send you is one where his face isn't clearly visible in it, but you can, I can tell the desk, like.
Yeah, that is fucked, eh? W Tom so far. W Tom, all right? Bias aside, of course.
His computer is moved onto the table, but I can still see like the monster is like on the cozy that's like on the table, like in the exact same position. So I can tell that's clearly his desk.
I guess I just find it ironic that someone who's accusing me of blackmailing her with her nudes literally sent a picture of us having sex to a man that she has never met. Now, Josh recounts seeing this image and talks about how hard it looks like I was grabbing Rowan on the mouth, essentially using it as evidence to support another claim she makes that I am too rough during sex, which I find very interesting because after I sent Rowan this photo, she texted me saying, "I like when you cover my mouth like that." Again, she texted me as
brother. Oh my god, it's not looking good. The Turkey Tom haters are down bad right now. That's not good. So far what we have is that in terms of distribution of content, the only person that's done it is the accuser, Rowan. And in terms of the aggressive nature of the encounters, it does seem that Rowan was okay with it so far. So far, our turkey Tom is cooking.
Asking me to send her the videos, and she says, "Yeah, whenever you're not locked in, send the videos. It will fix me for about a week. Goon sesh." This is clear evidence that she has no problem with these videos existing. To this day, she has provided zero proof that the videos were recorded non-consensually, or that I was blackmailing her with them, or that I had any intention.
In complete fairness against him, there's really no way to prove that a video was recorded non-consensually, because like in order for it to be non-consensual, it would have to happen, without a prior discussion. There wouldn't be a record of no consent, if that makes sense. Like there's no real way to prove something like that unless the video itself were leaked, and in that video it's clear that she's like either out of it or she like isn't aware that there's a camera and that's somewhat visible. But just to counter Tom here, there's no real way to prove a video was recorded without someone's consent, really.
Intention of sending them to anyone. Reason being, I never did any of those things.
That being said, it must be noted in the text that we have so far, she is encouraging recording. She's asking for the Meta glasses to be purchased, hands-free experience. And on top of that, she's requesting for the videos and saying that she wants to get off to them. And to extra glaze Tom here, if you're mad at him for not sending the videos, what's the first thing she did with the image that she has? Sent it to the owner of Kiwi Farms. He's kind of been proven right that he probably shouldn't have sent the videos, which he didn't, so.
Things. In Rowan's interview, she claims that I never asked for consent to film these sex acts, and says that she wouldn't notice I was filming until 30 seconds to 1 minute into it.
I'm not sure of an exact date, but maybe like 2 or 3 months into our relationship, he never asked me he would just pull out his phone and record. And I wouldn't notice until maybe 30 seconds in a minute or a minute into it.
Now, I obviously can't and would never show these videos to anyone, but in them, it's undeniable that she is staring directly into the camera from the moment the video starts. She never once questions why I'm filming or what I'm doing, because the reality is that every single time we recorded, I had explicit permission. Ask yourself, how could she possibly have never consented to filming when she's literally holding my phone next to her face as she sucks my dick? In the interview, she says that what
All right, buddy. bro's just flexing, okay? Chill out, bro.
really concerns her is that I wouldn't send her any of the sexual videos we took.
I had asked him multiple times.
By the way, as much as that seems unfair, it's been proven now that that was a great decision on his end. Sorry.
If he could please send me the videos, so like he's not the only one who has videos of me naked. And he either ignored the question or was just like, no.
As I said earlier, I was paranoid to send these videos to anyone, even her, for fear of them leaking. Weirdly, in messages at the time, she seems to actually get it, saying, I want to see them videos, goon time, before following up by saying that she actually understands why I'm scared to send them to her. Now we're going to fast forward to October 17th in our text, and Rowan says, do you ever go back and watch our videos? And I reply, yes, I do sometimes, actually. Rowan responds that she's thinking about that right now, and then says, quote, need that big white cock. It's also kind of strange to me that at the time she referred to them as our videos, but in the present she's claiming she doesn't even want them to exist. On November 6th, Rowan asked me why I never ask her for nudes. I say I have a bunch of videos already and that's why. She does not express that she has a problem with me having the videos. She doesn't complain about it. She doesn't say they were taken without her consent. In fact, throughout the entire relationship, she was sending me nude photos of herself unsolicited every single month. Why would you send nude photos of yourself to someone you think could use them against you? Rowan personally posted dozens of screenshots of our texts, and not a single one shows her bringing up any of the videos being non-consensual. Another interesting fact is that during our breakup, she texted me a pros and cons list, which she apparently had written about me on January 4th.
Cons. We're reading the cons, chat. Chopped in the face and thinks we're matched in looks. Cheated on ex, follows his friends around like a dog, seems depressed all the time, no surprises, takes hours to respond, so dry and vague, rarely compliments me, doesn't leave his house, online all the time, no hobbies other than gym or video games, talks about other women lustfully in front of me, follows IG models, OF girls, even when I asked him to stop. Oh, there's more. No romance, doesn't seem to want to support me at all in the future. Seems like he still feels a type of way towards his ex. Ooh, interesting. Kai reference. Every time I bring up a valid concern, he says, I'm nice to you, though, so stop complaining. Sent dick pics to a Belle Delphine copycat before. Sex is all about him. Ran through. Looks up to Sam Hyde unironically. Yo, this chick's kind of based. Said he likes hurting me during sex, even when I bleed. Seems kind of self-obsessed. Doesn't ever talk about us, just him. Doesn't really seem to care about my goals at all. Everything is all about him. I do the bare minimum. Therefore, you're not allowed to feel upset. I mean, those are some hefty cons. Those are some cons right there. Looks up to Sam Hyde. Got me crying, chat. Got me crying.
January 4th of 2026. And in the con section, she complains about a lot of things, but she doesn't mention non-consensual videos whatsoever.
True. Would that not be a big con? Would that not be a massive con?
Out of the way, we can move on to Rowan's claim that I was sexually abusive towards her. In that same pros and cons list, Rowan wrote, says he likes hurting me during sex and making me bleed. This also reflects her public claims about me, but the great irony is that I never even said this. She did. On September 14th, 2025, Rowan sent me a text saying, quote,
Brother, these receipts are not helping her case here, eh?
I'm such a freak.
Motherfuckers are gonna be in the comments saying Sleepy's glazing. Sleepy's so biased. Sleepy's believing everything Tom says. Golly. I'm just looking at the receipts. I'm looking at the evidence, all right? What do you want me to say?
Like when it hurts and bleeds after, something Wong.
That's fucking crazy, by the way. That is a crazy thing to say. I don't know any women that have ever said that I want it to bleed after. Golly.
In one of her public-facing posts about me, she posts an interaction which reads as follows. She says, quote, like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day or do it so hard I hurt and bleed. And I said, well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't gotta. We can do other things. And she says, okay, I like doing other things too. The way this screenshot is cropped, it comes across like I'm some, just super callous freak who's brutally jackhammering her vagina like Steve mining diamonds. But in the full uncropped
Okay, bro. Unnecessary.
screenshot, her immediate response to me after that is, I'm a freak. I say this, and as soon as I see you, I'm going to be freaky again. I can't resist. In
Bro.
the interview, she elaborates on this even more, specifically claiming that she would bleed almost every time we had sex.
Okay, and you would bleed.
Yes.
Same? And you didn't stop.
Yeah, I would bleed almost every time.
This is just blatantly untrue as well, and it's easy to see by going through our text messages. On August 17th of 2025, the day after my birthday, Rowan and I were planning to go to Mass, and she wanted to have sex with me. So she texted me saying, Tom, I started my period. I was driving, so I couldn't say much, but I replied by saying, that sucks, I'm 40 minutes away. She follows up by asking me if I mind getting my sword bloody, and I say I'll be okay. So if it wasn't already clear, she's asking me if I'm okay with getting blood on my dick. Why would this be something she's even asking if every time we have sex, I'm making her bleed? Keep in mind, this is...
Well, okay, we got to back it up here. So we're not talking about the same thing here. So this is an implication that like they're gonna have period sex. Obviously, she's already said that she's on her period. Do you mind? Okay. I don't. The volume of blood would be completely different, right? I don't imagine that rough sex would be triggering period volumes of blood. You know what I mean? So I don't. This is a bit of a weaker point from Tom here. I don't think you can really compare the amount of blood that is excreted via a period compared to, whatever blood is being caused, whatever bleeding's being caused by rough sex. You know what I mean? Unbiased Sleepy alert. Unbiased Sleepy.
So if it wasn't already clear, she's asking me if I'm okay with getting blood on my dick. Why would this be something she's even asking if every time we have sex, I'm making her bleed? Keep in mind, this is months into us going out and being sexually active, and she's still worried that the idea of bleeding during sex would gross me out. Now, as soon as she began posting about me, people were naturally perplexed by her claim that she was bleeding from sex every single time. They asked if she had some kind of medical problem, and she says, I have no health issue that I know of, never bled during sex before. It was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked it, but I bled after almost every single time. I feel like most of this statement has already been dispelled, but even the smallest detail of no medical condition that I know of is also false. On September 24th of 2025, Rowan texted me saying that she's going to switch from her current birth control, Nexplanon, to the pill because she has month-long periods that cause her to bleed. So regardless of sex, Rowan admittedly bleeds for an entire month at a time. One of Rowan's main
That's an intense ass fucking period, by the way. A whole fucking month.
criticisms is that I'm too rough. In fact, she describes our sexual interactions as intense, violent aggression every single time.
I genuinely did think that he would maybe change and stop being so aggressive, because he told me before that he would kind of chill out, but he never did chill out, and it kept being the same very intense, violent aggression every single time.
She also alleges that I hit, choked, and beat her without asking, essentially painting me as an abusive partner.
Unfortunately, I did still stay with him, and I know a lot of people seem to have a lot of questions about that, and honestly, you were completely correct to question my judgment as to why I stayed with him, even though he was, hitting and choking and beating me.
Hitting and choking. What is he going to say about that? Because now he's played this clip. Surely he's got to address that, right?
There's this idea she's trying to paint that in the relationship, I was constantly pushing this rough, violative sex onto her, and even though she didn't like it and was being abused, she stayed with me. I've seen some people question her saying things like, well, if you hated it, why didn't you just leave? But realistically, sometimes people do stay with abusive partners, and I don't want to invalidate their stories through my response. The real...
Wow. Thoughtful Tom. Let's go. He's being thoughtful.
reason that she didn't leave is because she loved having sex with me, and throughout our entire relationship was constantly begging me to validate her fantasies. In this first
Damn, bro. Bro's flexing. All right. Have you seen tomorrow's teachings? Yes, it's fire. Okay, where's the freak unmatched? Falling asleep. Oh, I see.
screenshot here, she expresses that she is a real freak and says that she wants me to kidnap her, even saying, I want to be tied up, taken to the woods, and pounded, so maybe there's something wrong with me. I respond by saying,
Damn, this bitch is getting her whole fucking kinks outed. I mean, in fairness, you know, you can't expect to not have this stuff get leaked when you start something like this.
that we should not have sex in the woods, and she says, you nervous? Right here in this next one, Rowan says, I yearn to be manhandled and led across a dark room. That's why I like you. I reply saying, you are like a dungeon person. And she says, you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you. In fact, anytime I wanted to have more loving, slow, I guess sensual intercourse with Rowan in the bedroom, she actually had a problem with that. I remember one specific instance where I was being more
Anecdote loading. We might not be able to admit this into court, but we'll hear it anyways.
slow and sensual, and I remember her whispering in my ear saying, I want you to pound me. And that's probably why on June 5th, 2025, she texted me saying, I need to get face fucked for an hour. And I replied by saying, damn, exams suck. On June 7th, she texts me and says, I'm excited to get fucked borderline domestic violently.
Jesus Christ. Dog, she doesn't make it easy to support her case here. Listen, this is the best thing I'll say in her defense. It is still possible to say these things and experience things that you don't want. Okay? That's as far as I'll go. However, if we're working on like a preponderance of evidence, that's just like a common word that we've been using lately. Tom's evidence is interesting so far, and it's definitely recalibrating the way the relationship's being perceived in my eyes.
At one point in the interview, she states that one time I was angry at my ex-girlfriend, and that the next time we had sex, I was particularly aggressive. This is a very strange thing to accuse me of, given that on October 13th, Rowan says verbatim, sometimes I want to fight you just so you be more angry when you fuck me. She clarifies, saying, I do like that though, even without the fighting. So at every opportunity, this girl is publicly saying, oh my god, look at all this horrible shit he did to me. And then she's texting me that she wants me to kidnap her, tie her up, and pound her in the woods. And if anyone is putting up any resistance to that, it's me. She once again lies about weird little things in the interview. Like she says that I was her second boyfriend.
He was my second boyfriend.
And when I heard this, I was very confused.
When I heard I guess, I was like, I guess is not something you say to two. You get what I mean? Like if it's only been two, you don't say I guess. You know, 1, 2. I guess second, that means we got some unofficials.
Confused because she told me that I was her third. In my opinion, she said this to make herself seem less sexually experienced than she really is.
Also, like, is 3 that much worse, really?
To make the case stronger that I was taking advantage of her. Now, in this next post, she writes, again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was a super...
Okay. The recording without consent would have been illegal, for sure. And I mean, if a lot of this stuff was happening, like being hit without consent, him not stopping, like getting repeatedly injured from intercourse, and him not caring, like at a certain point, it does become domestic, right? So you can't just say like, oh, I'm not alleging anything illegal. It's like, well, some of these details are pretty illegal sounding, like
super gooner. Sort of normalize it in my head, but it's definitely not okay to do that. So for
also, in fairness, if he's a super gooner, so is she. She might be a bigger super gooner, like from the text messages we're reading here.
Information on how I supposedly normalize this behavior. Let's go back to the beginning of our relationship and see what our conversations about sex were like. On Wednesday, May 14th, after only hanging out with Rowan once, she texted me saying she's excited to hang out with me again, and she already knows my penis is massive, without me saying anything sexual to her at this point. So as you might suspect, we did have intercourse on our second date. And after this first sexual encounter, Rowan texts me saying, quote, rape thing is so hot. I never did that before. You should tie me up next time. My response to this is consensual sex is good.
Motherfucker is covering his fucking bases. Oh, I'm crying, bro. The little exclamation mark too.
And she says, you know what I meant by that. I don't know what to call it. So from the very first interaction we have, she calls our sex rape for some reason, saying how hot it is, to which I clarify that it was consensual, and she says, I know what you mean. And for the record, I never indulged in her fantasy to be tied up, just not something I was interested in any way. And we also never did anything in the woods, in case you're curious
Wow, bro. What a fucking vanilla piece of shit.
about that. To hammer this point home, let's go over some more texts where Rowan talks about sex. On Friday, May 16th, she texts me asking when I'm free and says that she needs my, quote, big dick. And I say, don't say and she says, it is, and I need it. On May 18th, Rowan says she's not used to being with...
Bro, the brain rot is so fucking evident in these text messages.
someone with as big of a dick as mine. She says that it hurt her, but she wants to do it again, and she won't be a pussy about it. Some of her public claims about me are more desperate and weird than others. Like she complains that I didn't eat her out.
Like, he never once ate me out, but he would demand that I would constantly suck his dick. And, like, yeah.
But here is a text message of me directly telling her, look, I'm a selfish lover. And she says, it's okay. I like sucking dick more than getting eaten out. I'm a real freak. Despite her acting like I like sucking
Big win. Not gonna lie, that's a big win.
dick more than getting eaten out, I'm a real freak. Despite her acting like I am a like sexual degenerate, repeatedly doing sex acts she doesn't enjoy, here she is saying, you match my freak kind of. Not you're too freaky or we've been too freaky. She says that I match her freak. Here in this next one, she says, I'm getting on my knees as soon as I see you, by the way, freak mode. In this next one, I give a little bit of input. I tell her I'm thinking about her pussy. And she responds to me saying, you gonna tear it up or what? Now, my question for you in the audience would be, do people who are into slow, romantic, candlelit sex describe intercourse as their pussy getting torn up? I would say probably not. Here in this next one,
I mean, it's possible. It depends on the context, you know. It doesn't have to be the same type every time. You know, you can have vanilla, you can have chocolate, you can have pistachio. Like there's you know, come on. Can't you mix the flavors?
one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And keep in mind,
These motherfuckers are going to church talking like this? Unacceptable.
I don't want to reveal any of this information, okay? I don't want to be saying this. I don't want to be here right now, and I would never intend on sexually shaming an ex-partner. But she's gone out of her way to not only shame me, but also to lie in an effort to paint me as some gooner, freak, borderline rapist. So let's keep going. Here, Rowan makes a post saying that I am a Patrick Bateman gooner because I flexed in the mirror after we had sex. But the strange part about this is that I have a text of her saying, quote, I keep thinking about how hot it was watching myself take your big dick in the mirror. Gooner as fuck, sorry. Reading through what she says about me publicly, it's like every accusation she makes towards me is actually some kind of confession to her own behavior. On June 25th, she texts me wondering if she can give me head after getting her wisdom teeth taken out. She obviously wouldn't be able to do that because it causes your face to swell up like a blimp. And she responds with, no, I gotta do it as much as possible before. Here, Rowan's asking me, am I the tightest, most perfect girl you ever fucked? On July 2nd, she says, I miss that big dick so much, I'm under spells. On July 5th, I bring up us wearing condoms, and Rowan says, no, and then tells me that she wants me to cream pie her and that she's a real freak. After I say happy birthday, sweetie, for her 21st, she says that all she wants for her birthday is my big white cock. In this next one, she texts me saying, I miss feeling like I'm going to break in half, not gonna lie. In this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it.
Bro, he's just reading highlights. I mean, I guess there's really no other way of going about this, right? Like, you have to show context that, like, this is something you were both into. And these text messages kind of do paint that picture. There's like, I don't know, how else would you go about disproving this? You know? It's kind of got to be, this is her character. This is what she's into. This is how it compares to what we were doing, or the allegations or whatever. Like, I get it. Like, this is what you're going to have to do to, you know, prove yourself in the court of public opinion.
On it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd, she says, can I come over and suck on it Friday night? Which I don't accept. I tell her that I'm busy. She then says, I have the big white cock addiction. Interestingly enough, in this next one, she's asking me if I can have sex with her while holding her in the air, essentially, and tells me that I should try to do it. Once again, a pretty bizarre thing to ask someone to do who allegedly has been abusing you for 3 months by now with overly rough sex. On July 21st, she starts off by texting me, "I hate gooner men." And then not even 1 minute later, she says, "I need that big white cock." On August 23rd, she says, "Whenever I wake up without my morning Tom face fuck, I am sad." On September 2nd, she expresses that she wished she lived closer to me, but if she did, it would be an issue because she would want to come suck my dick all the time. On September 17th, she sends me an Instagram reel of someone praying the rosary. I don't respond, and she follows up by saying, "I miss that dick so much." Here in this next photo, she sends me a picture of her in lingerie with the caption, "When it's rape time." And after she said that, all I did was respond with a photo of the movie Just Friends. On Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 a.m., Rowan says, "I hope you come. I got something special for our rape times." I say, change that to consensual sexual encounters, and she says, "I know." She expands on this particular message.
He's covering his bases hard here. He fucking hates that term, huh? He does not want to get caught with any other response other than "I don't like when you say that." Bro's in PR mode in the DMs.
And says, "Are you mad at me? I know it's consensual." So even as we're approaching over 4 months of being together, she's still telling me that our sex is consensual and that she likes it. Now that I've gone through a lot of our messages, I think it's pertinent that we get into the month of October. This is the month that Rowan has publicly claimed that there was one specific incident that occurred during which she asked me to stop having sex with her and I did not. To be perfectly clear, this never happened. But just to have some fun, we can go through our texts day by day in this month to see which day this horrific incident could have possibly occurred. On October 2nd, she texts me saying, "You are perfect." On October 3rd and 4th, we hung out. She asked me if I got home okay, and she says that I am her formal date in her heart. She then says that she hates when anyone comments on her body, even in a positive way, and I tell her that she should eat slop and go for a walk and not worry about it, and that she is beautiful. On October 8th, she continues being sexual, complimenting my arm. She then resends me a meme that says, "Me if I do not have violent sex very soon." On October 8th, she also says, "I miss my handsome husband." Here, I tell her I landed in Texas. She says, "I miss sucking on it." She then texts me saying, "You got to start putting rape time in your reminders." On October 9th, she says that she wants to hang out. I say I arrived. On October 10th, she says, "Let me know when you get back safe. I always have such a fun time with you." On October 14th, she says she wishes she was waking up to me in the morning, and she then expresses sadness that I'm not moving closer to the city where she's from to live near her. She then states that her life has improved since meeting me because previously she was partying and going out, and now she spends time with me. On October 15th, she says, "I started my period. I wish I could come suck on it." And that evening, she says, "I would kill myself if I had to talk to any other man but you." I say, "That's true. I'm a nice guy." And she says, "Yeah, I'm the bad guy." On October 17th, we've already read this, but this is once again where she says, "Do you ever go back and watch our videos?" And I say, "Yeah, I do sometimes actually." And
I can't lie, what I am getting from these text messages is he's pretty AFK. Like, he's not engaging very much in these messages. Like, she's sending him a lot. This is like month 4. Like, he seems pretty disinterested in this relationship by this point. And it kind of seems like she's probably more of a like roster player who's like on the bench more than like a relationship or even a roster player who's like active rotation. That's a really fucked up thing I just said, okay? But she's not the starting 5. She's coming off the bench, okay? She's gonna win six man of the year, okay?
And she responds to me that she's thinking about that right now and says, quote, "Need that big white cock. In the mirror, you deadass look like the Hulk compared to me." Now, one thing to note here is that at no point does she express that the videos were taken without her consent. Once again, I just want to have that hammered down here. On October
I can't blame him. Like, that's the worst allegation, and you're not seeing anything in the text messages that reflect that. None of the text messages that she posted reflect that. It is a bit sketch.
October 19th, she texted me saying she needs my milk right now. She then said,
So far, I really don't have an issue with the video. I think the only issue I have is that he kind of conflates like blood from a period to blood from aggressive violent sex. Like, obviously those aren't exactly the same in volume or in cause, but again, like that could be a mistake on his part, or that could be, you know, malicious in the sense that he's trying to make it seem like, oh, it's the same thing. Like, if she's okay with one, why wouldn't she be okay with the other type of deal? Again, I'm also trying to be a little unbiased there.
and says I miss my perfect jacked boyfriend, and that night she sends me nudes. At 10 p.m., she sends me a photo of a guy with a clock in his hand and says, I need that dick. On October 21st, I sent her a bicep photo. She responds saying, you look good, Tom. I can't wait to suck your dick. She says, I love you. You're a great boyfriend. She then says, you never officially asked me to be your girlfriend, to which I say that we did. On October 23rd, there's proof we hung out that day. She then says, text me when you get home safe, and I say, I made it. She also texted me saying, I love when my bed smells like your musk. On October 24th, she says, good night, you're the best boyfriend ever. October 25th, she sends me a photo of herself in a deer outfit and says, meow, I miss Tom's big white dick. That night, she says, I'm going to send you ass pics tomorrow. On October 26th, we've read this one before, but here she says, next time during our epic rape time, you can tie me up.
She clearly wanted him pretty long term here. Like, I'm just going to be real. Like, this is what it's coming across as. It seems like she really wants him, and he's kind of moving on, like, or he's already moved on and kind of keeping her as an option. And it's probably not emotionally fair to her. And so she's just like pouring it all out, trying to get any amount of attention from him. And it's just not working. And he really does not like the rape time term.
I say, you mean consensual sex, and she follows it up by saying, you know what I mean, Tom, rough sex. Once again, these are really weird messages to be sending to someone that you now claim is sexually abusing you on a weekly basis. Now, that evening, the evening of October 26th, we can see that I hang out at Rowan's house and I sleep over. Then there's a text that shows that I'm leaving and mention that I took my friend to the hospital. On October 27th, she says that she hopes I'm doing well. She loves me so much. On October 30th, she says that we'll be married in 2 years. October 31st at 12:30 in the morning, she texts me and says, I had a nightmare you broke up with me. Oh my God. She then says that I should cut a hole in my back.
Wait, are they dating? Is that the context that they're like actually in a relationship right now? Because if so, I gotta say, like, these texts are pretty bleak in terms of like a relationship.
Man suit for my dick. On October 31st in the afternoon, she says, oh, Tom, I yearn for the big white cock. On November 1st at 1:20 a.m., she says, up? No good night? I love you? Yeah, it's fucking over. I tell her that I'm falling asleep, and she says, you was madly in love with her and not me. I'm gonna myself. I tell her, good night, I'll see you tomorrow, and I then say, do not say anything like that ever again. Now, for a little more context on this specific message and what she's talking about here, during our entire relationship, she was extremely insecure about the fact that before I was with her, I had lived with a girl, and she wanted me to basically show more commitment in the relationship than I was willing to show, as far as like moving physically closer to her. And at a few points, she suggested that we move in together, and I said, well, you know, it's just too soon. We're not really ready for that. I don't think that makes sense after dating for just a few months to move in together. So that's the context of this. She would constantly bring up shit and compare herself to my ex or ex-sexual partners in general, but my ex-girlfriend. And I was like, don't say stuff like that. Like, I'm dating you right now. Stop worrying about this. So later on in the night, she texts me saying, mass is needed. I am such a sweet girl and have love in my heart for you. I know this. And this carries into the morning where she says, hi, my sweet love. The next day around noon, she says, sorry for being kind of bitchy.
Holy fuck, dude. Look at the amount of texts in comparison. Now, like, what do I even say about that? I just don't think that I mean, I think he kind of addressed that emotionally he's not nearly as available as she seems to be. But these text messages in terms of relationship, like, they're pretty bleak. I'm not saying that you got to match the energy, you know, 1-for-1, 24/7. But like, I've now seen like repeated messages of her being so much more willing to send messages and like go into detail than he is. He's very responsive rather than like being the one to initiate these messages. So if you want to say he's an emotionally unavailable relationship partner, I would totally co-sign that just based off of like the volume of messages.
Bitchy, let me know when you're on your way. I say that I have arrived. We take a photo in our Halloween outfits. And on November 2nd, I say that I made it home. And she says that she hopes that I have a good day. So we've now made it through the entire month of October. And there's no indication of any kind of abuse, any kind of mistreatment, or even really anything negative. But almost every single day, she says something about how she loves me, how I'm perfect, how everything is good. and she keeps sending me sexual stuff the entire time without me even asking. At the risk of belaboring the point, I do want to go through a few more messages just for the hell of it, just so I can confidently show that she was extremely sexual the entire time and never expressed any reservations about the sex we were having. On Wednesday, November 5th, out of nowhere, she texts me saying, "I'm trying to make you nut." I just don't respond. On December 12th, she sends me nudes again. Kind of a weird thing to send to someone who apparently has sexual blackmail on you again, is it not? On December 24th, she says that I am a sweetie pie. She's grateful for me. She wants to make me nut again, in her words, and she hopes we're married for a long time. On January 2nd, she sends...
Ugh, she wanted marriage. Bro, I don't know if she knew who she was. I mean, she must have known, dude. Like, this has got to be, like, out of desperation, honestly.
me a naked photo of herself, again, unprompted. And the morning of January 8th, Rowan texts me saying that before she comes to visit me, she needs to know that my dick is working. Less than 36 hours later, I broke up with her. So as you can see, the texts don't lie.
Oh,
Rowan
man.
was blatantly the more sexual one in the relationship.
I mean, you could feel it coming from how unresponsive he is in these texts. Like, it was a matter of time. That shit sucks. That shit sucks.
I've produced evidence of this nearly every single week, and she didn't produce any because there isn't any. But apart from the idea that I filmed her without her consent, and apart from the idea that I was a sexually abusive partner, she actually made some other claims as well. So another claim she made is that I encouraged her eating disorder.
Yeah, I told him very early on, like, hey, like, I've struggled with eating issues in the past, and I'm kind of still trying to gain some weight and make sure everything's okay. And he would tell me, oh, I love how skinny you are. I like how small you are.
I think it's fine to like someone who's skinny or small or whatever. Like, you can be into that, I think. I think where the problem can arise is if you're, like, encouraging unhealthy habits. You get what I mean? Like, if you're encouraging, like, oh yeah, don't eat, like, starve max, okay? But I think if you're encouraging, like, if you're, like, suggesting good habits, but still, like, liking that they're, like, smaller or thinner, like, because I think it's totally fine to like people that are thin, you know, or like someone that's, like, fit or whatever. Like, obviously, listen, sounds like Tom gets it. I'm not into fat bitches. What can I say? I think it's bad to encourage bad actions, but I think it's totally fine to compliment someone's body until, of course, they tell you not to. They say, hey, I can't take that. I can't take when you say that my skinny body is nice. If they're saying that, then I guess, like, you got to kind of figure it out, right? But that doesn't seem to be the case here.
That was incredibly hard to hear.
This is also a pretty serious claim, and if true, would undoubtedly make me a pretty fucked up guy, but it's just not true. Here, I directly discourage her eating disorder, even giving her advice on gaining weight, and I say starving yourself is very bad for you. And this
Yeah, like, these are good. These are very good suggestions.
next screenshot, she says she used to be thick, but she self-nuked. I say you look the same, more or less. I guess you lost some weight, but I think both are attractive. This next one, she says that she feels skinny fat. I say I don't agree, and I say that working out is good. And this next one, she sends me an image that says nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, and I say that's a sickening image.
I personally would have joked about this if a woman sent me this. I probably would have, like, joked in a way that, like, semi encourages this notion. But again, it's how you achieve skinny. Are you starving yourself? That's not good. If you're eating, like, a high protein diet, you're watching your macros, you know, you're watching your calories in, calories out. Like, there's ways to achieve skinny or to achieve fit that are not unhealthy. Obviously, it sounds like this woman did have unhealthy things, but it sounds like Tom was encouraging, you know, healthy standards. I wouldn't have responded that's a sickening image, personally. Tom's got that PR brain, though, on 24/7 apparently.
Now, for those who don't know, this is like it's like a pro-anorexia slogan, I guess you would call it. Here in this next screenshot, she asked me if I'd still like her if she gained weight, and I say yes. Here in this next one, I tell her explicitly she should eat more food and drink protein shakes to gain weight, and I also tell her that gaining weight would be...
These are based, like, suggestions, by the way. Like, girls have it pretty easy, especially if you're, like, in that 100-pound category where, like, literally one protein shake a day probably, like, makes up 30% of your fucking intake anyways, and it's a really good thing that you could be consuming.
would be healthy for her, as well as saying, I just want you to be healthy. Here in this next one, I tell her that I find her sexy how she is, but that it could be healthy for her to gain 5 to 10 pounds. So this is now 7 instances of me actively discouraging her eating disorder, despite her lying and saying that I was egging it on. Now, one of the other allegations that Rowan has levied towards me is that I'm into age play. She's not alleging that I did it with her, she's alleging that I did it with another girl named Ellie, who I briefly talked to 2 years ago. Now, there's no proof whatsoever that I did anything close to age play, but I did text her about these allegations, and she clearly states that I've never done age play. An ex-girlfriend of mine named Kai, who I dated for 3 years, also publicly posted on Twitter saying that I never abused her and that we never did anything related to age play. So this brings the total counter up to 5 people: Rowan, Katie, Ellie, Kai, and another random girl I banged a year ago named Maddie, who for some
Awesome phrasing.
reason came out in the midst of all of this to post pictures of herself in my house. And all of these people say that I never was into this fetish with them. The closest thing I've ever engaged in when it comes to age play is that sometimes girls do call me daddy during sex. It's a little embarrassing given that I am me. I accept that it's something people are going to see as a little bit strange. All I can really do at this point is accept that it's something that I've done. And I think that Rowan should accept it about herself too, given that she also called me daddy during sex and over text repeatedly. In the same vein as this accusation, Rowan stated, "One more thing to add I thought was odd. Never really expressed any interest in Hello Kitty or that type of e-girl stuff, but I had like one Hello Kitty figure in my car. As a gift, Tom bought me Hello Kitty pajamas and a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff." So Rowan essentially wants you to believe that I'm pushing Hello Kitty onto her as if I have some kind of weird fascination with it. But the truth is that I am a 23-year-old man and I don't give a fuck about Hello Kitty, okay? The only reason I bought her anything Hello Kitty themed at all, which was once, by the way, was because she frequently expressed interest in it. Here she is sending me a photo with a Hello Kitty figurine next to her printer. Here she is sending me a photo with a hand-drawn and colored Hello Kitty image on her wall. Yeah, she made these herself. Here, in regards to her decorating my room, she says, "No Hello Kitty," with a frowny face, and I
Lolita? What the heck?
say correct. And something interesting about these texts is that she shows that she has a poster of the movie Lolita on her wall. I wonder what the movie Lolita could possibly be about. This film is about a middle-aged professor who is sexually attracted to adolescent girls he calls nymphettes. He rents a room in the house of a young widow to get closer to her 14-year-old daughter, Dolores Hayes Lowe, whom he calls Lolita. Obsessed with the girl, he eventually gains control over her after he takes her cross-country with him. Rowan even says that I should watch this movie, to which I reply that I feel like it's a movie adult men aren't supposed to see. In this next screenshot, Rowan asks me, "If I start dressing like a weird Hello Kitty e-girl, would you still fuck with me?" And I replied, "No, I don't want you to do that. I find it kind of repulsive." Here, Rowan is texting me upset that she has to take down all of the Hello Kitties from her dorm room. And this next one is probably the strangest reference to Hello Kitty out of all of them. Here, she's sending me a video that says, "Get you a man that takes you to the Hello Kitty hotel." And under it, she writes, "Imagine the rape here." And I say, I will not imagine. Now, with some of the more insane projections and lies out of the way, I'd like to get into some strange details that Rowan also decided to lie about for whatever reason she may have. One thing that a lot of people pointed out that's strange is that Rowan had taken a photo of us matching on Tinder before we met in person.
Yeah, I took a picture of the match because I could kind of tell there was like something weird about this guy. Like I didn't know if he was famous or whatever. And also I did that to other people as well on Tinder.
Cap. She knew. For sure she knew. I don't believe that for a second.
Just like everybody you matched with to like gossip with, like girlfriends.
Yeah, like a couple of them. But yeah, he seemed like kind of weird. So I took pictures of our match.
She's also stated repeatedly that she's not a very online person multiple times throughout her testimony. But the wild thing about this is Rowan had sent me a message on my YouTube connected Instagram all the way back on February 21st of 2024, 15 months before matching me on Tinder.
Oh my God. No. There's evidence of this? Damn. Not good. Not good, Rowan. Not good.
Where she said, "You have to do a video on this crazy guy on Twitter who only has like 3,000 followers, but this man is a menace." I even confronted her about this when we first hung out because I found it very strange that she lied to my face when she first met me and said she didn't know who I was. I said, "Hey, I looked at our messages on Instagram and saw you DM me over a year ago." Rowan said, "Oops, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you, but I watched one of your vids a while ago and thought you were cute, but I thought it would be awkward." I responded, "That's okay, I was just surprised." She replied, "I know I probably look crazy." I said, "I mean, a little bit, it's okay. I just wish you told me, that's all." She answered, "I didn't want to because I thought it would be weird. I'm sorry." Kind of lied about some stuff. I was like a niche internet micro celebrity on Twitter for a little bit too. I'm chronically online and didn't want to admit it, lol. I've
Man, we're lying about a lot of stuff. Not good.
gotten better about it. Once again, this is just another detail that it doesn't even make sense to publicly lie about, but it's just one of those things that makes me question her intentions throughout the entire relationship looking back. Publicly, she's also misrepresented the end of our relationship. In the interview, it stated that our breakup took place in December and that after that she realized how bad it was and she felt the need to contact Katie, who we're gonna get into later. This is blatantly untrue. We broke up on January 10th of this year, 2026, and she began posting about me on January 14th, literally days later. She says the breakup was kind of mutual, an idea that is just bitterly ironic because that's not the case. Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online and even began attempting to blackmail me into having sex with her again.
I don't know what you want me to say to you. I just want to move on from our relationship and have you go be in your corner. You can meet other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just we'll break up.
No, you won't, because I'm gonna make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Why?
Oh my god.
Because you don't deserve one.
Why?
Because you're a piece of shit.
Why?
Because our whole relationship, you act like everything is all about you the whole time.
Okay.
You don't give a fuck. You're just an awful guy, and I'm so sorry that your mom raised you. She seemed like a nice lady, but clearly she did something very wrong.
Bro, he's getting owned. He's getting owned. Oh my god.
Okay, Rowan, I just want to move on and have my life, and you'll move on and have your life. And we can be in our own corners. We don't have to do damage to each other. We don't have to cause each other any more anguish, okay?
I just want to see you again, though. Do you think we'll ever be able to see each other?
After the way these conversations have gone today, I really don't think so.
Why?
Dude. Oh my god. Sleepy, why did you cover this? Fuck you. Fuck everybody that ever doubted why I didn't cover this. Suck my dick, ho. Suck my dick. That's why I didn't cover this. Bro, it was a sussy allegation. Limited evidence. Flippy floppy subject matter. Sleepy, why did you cover this? Fuck you. Fuck you, ho. Bitch.
Because you're threatening to blackmail me.
I'm not. Well, if you don't come see me, then I will.
I stated blatantly that
What? What are we saying?
I did not want to have sex with her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. I just wanted out of the relationship. This is something she was completely unwilling to accept, and that's why after I stopped talking to her, she proceeded to call me over 30 times and texted me 80 times with no...
Oh my god. It really is the crazy ex. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
with no response. She is publicly claiming to be a victim of sexual
Actually,
abuse.
hold on. If we're not, we gotta read.
and
We gotta
texted
read
me
these.
80
Okay. Let's start here. If you don't want to talk or listen to me, you just say that. Don't waste my time. You need to apologize. Also, I need $900 back from my flight to Maine because it was a waste of money, apparently. Goodbye, Tom. Good luck with impressing the next BPD whore with your limp dick. I have screenshots of you talking about Ellie, about how your dick pics are going to be put all over the internet. You're literally such a retard. Tell your friend from Dallas to hit me up. My question is, why would you string me along so long and say you love me when you didn't? It became clear to me that at some point that this would be the response I would get if I were to break up with you. And I've been dreading that slowly, considering you just told me you were talking to other guys on the phone and you just threatened to post about me publicly. Realistically, I can't trust you anyway. Is that why you didn't want to break up with me? Because you were scared I would do some dumb shit? That's so pussy, bro. I see why you didn't want me to look you up, because this shit is so bad. You're literally just as bad as the people you make videos about. Like fucking Belle Delphine impersonator and getting your dick leaked is crazy. And then telling your GF about it and expecting sympathy. Have some self-awareness. You're really just an overgrown man-child in some ways. Ohio impressed. And also I need my money back because you should have told me before the trip you were going to break up with me. You literally sit at home all day and have nothing, no hobbies except for gym and video games. You have a high body count, but you think you're this high value man. It's crazy. I know whichever girl is unfortunate enough to get into a relationship with you next will go through the same thing I did, because you're like actually so emotionless and mean. Also, you're like mad chopped in the face and I had to look past it. I'm done being a hater. You have lawyer? You can't record me without consent. Posting text screenshots isn't illegal, dumbass. Good luck trying to sue me for posting text message conversations on a public website. You're literally so stupid, Tom. I should have gone to the police right away, but I have evidence. I told my roommate after as well, my friend Sophia. You can't even deny this shit happened for real. And you can say word for word, I like hurting you. I still remember because how fucked it felt. I'm getting a no contact order. It will go on your record. You're a fucking narcissist. I also got a lawyer. I hated having to tell my mom. You are genuinely a horrible human being. I never loved you. I just loved the idea of you. I'm going to the courthouse in Waco. When I get there and ordering a temporary restraining order due to past threats you made against me, it might go to a real court order, which both of us will have to appear.
Times with no response. She is publicly claiming to be a victim of sexual abuse while begging me to fuck her again.
Like, you've done all this like weird shit. Like, I don't like it. Like, you're so weird. You treat me badly, especially during sex. And like over the phone, I just listed everything that he had done wrong, and he was like, well, you can leave me if you want. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you. That's basically what happened.
But there was no like specific, like, did you guys talk at all between breaking up and then?
Tom and I?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, because I
don't believe so. What are all those messages?
blocked him.
Even this detail is also so insane. While it is true that once she started to lose her mind, I did stop talking to her, she continued speaking at me, alternating between begging me to forgive her for breaking up with her, saying she wanted to have sex with me again, and sending me psychotic text messages filled with
Oh my god.
lies that she came up with.
You recorded other girls during sex. You recorded other girls during like the same thing where you don't ask. You just pull your phone out and record it. That's illegal, Tom. I hope you delete them because you really have some sick power thing, hitting and choking women, leaving bruises. It's good to know I'm not the only one who felt extremely uncomfortable. Interesting. I don't know. Like so far, just from the text messages that we've seen throughout this video, like extremely uncomfortable is not what I would say is like an accurate description of her relationship with him. In fact, it seems like she was saying things, repeatedly saying things like rape time that made him uncomfortable and him kind of get into like a PR type, yo, don't say that, say consensual.
With once I dumped her. Now with Rowan dealt with, the next person I'd like to address is Clorox Katie. Katie's a girl I had a brief sexual relationship with 2 years ago, and she began posting about me on the same day as Rowan. Now back when we were hanging out, she flew all the way from California to Maine to hang out with me twice. In the interview, she describes her time with me as the worst experience of her life.
And then you fly back, and how did that go? How long did you stay?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
And she also took to the forum to make some posts about me. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I've been down the kink roads in my life, and how he acts is actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just actually a Patrick Bateman type gooner. When asked how things between us ended, here is what she had to say. I just truly thought he was a cringe who definitely was going to beat me later if I stayed around. We only had a 2-month fling, but even my insane ass was scared of how he acted, and he was also just stupid. I hated conversation with him. He was just extremely weird to me and also evil as fuck during sex. Naturally, people asked her why she hadn't reported me to the police, and her response was, I thought about the police and looked into it, but again, it being across my own state lines and in Maine, it would have had to been filed there, and I lived on the opposite side of the country, so it just didn't seem feasible. These claims are once again so absurd to me that the best way to dispel tell them is to just look through our messages together. In these two DMs, you see that Katie comes to visit me for the first time on January 20th and leaves on January 23rd. She comes to visit me, she says she's excited, she then goes home, and after leaving my house the first time, she immediately texted me saying, "I had so much fun, Tom. You can kidnap me whenever. I feel so alone in my bed." She then says that she has to come back. Now, days after coming the first time, she sends me nudes. Once again, this is kind of a weird thing to send to somebody that you're claiming is recording sex with you without your consent. Why would you send this person nudes? She then sends me nudes a second time, says she needs it, says so starved, so deprived, and she says that she misses me so much. I say, let's hang out in March. She says I'm down, but waiting until March will be so hard. On February 1st, Katie says that she misses me. On February 2nd, she slides up on my story and says she is counting down the days until she can see me again. She then says that she needs to see me ASAP, and she misses all the things about me. On February
Man, I really don't have much to add because like this shit's kind of a lot of these text messages just kind of go against the narrative they're trying to paint here, right? There's not much else for me to add, really, frankly. My hair is
February 4th, she says she wishes that she woke up cuddling me. On February 8th, she says she wants to have sex with me again. Once again, this is after the first time we hung out. February 18th, she says she's going to swallow me, and she then sends me naked photos of herself willingly. Keep in mind, once again, she's accusing me of recording sex with her without her consent, and then she keeps sending me naked photos of herself. She even sent me a video, by the way. She says, "I need you right meow. I need you ASAP." February 22nd and February 24th, we have "I miss you" and "Are you home yet?" February 28th, she slides up on my story and says, "I'm gonna suck you so good." She then says, "I need to see you now more than ever. Lots of hugs and hot sex." On March 2nd, she says, "I like you lots," and I reciprocate. She says she can't wait to see me again. She then says that she's excited to see me that coming Saturday. In the next screenshot, I say, "Your pussy's gonna be so sore." And Katie responds with, "Good thing we had to wait a while, because then I can take a beating." She then says, "I'm ready for you to throw me around." Now, when we were discussing how many days she would want to stay, she says, "As long as you want," and that we'll have so much sex and party so hard. And she then once again expresses how excited she is. On March 7th, she sends me a barrage of unsolicited sexual photos, including her with BDSM leather on her butt. On March 8th, she says all she can think about is me, and she can't wait for my dick to be down her throat. And on March 10th at 7 in the morning, which is 4 a.m. her time, she says that she is so excited to see me that she cannot sleep. Now, with the Instagram messages out of the way, we can move on to the text messages. So on March 10th, this is the second visit, right? Prior to getting there, she says that she is starving for me. Now, March 15th, this is when she leaves. She says I still have her toothbrush, but that I have to let her come back. Now, keep in mind, Katie, in her own words, said that this second time visiting me was the worst experience of her entire life.
How long did you say?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
She basically describes being physically abused in the interview. She even says that while we were having sex, she would ask me to stop doing something, and I wouldn't. But that did not happen. You may also recall her stating that she ended things with me because I was such an insufferable person to be around. She claims that after the second trip, she began to realize she was a victim.
Yeah. And that's kind of like when things really started piecing together to me that I was like, wait, I think I am a victim right now. Like something's not right here.
In her words, this is why she stopped talking to me. She says that she was scared of me. She says she was scared that I would beat her. Well, on March 20th, which is after the second visit, she texts me saying, "Tom, I really like spending time with you, but I'm kind of worried about if you actually like me or just using me. Lol. I'm just..."
bro. Oh man. What it seems like from these two, okay, this is an emotionally unavailable person in Tom that is hooking up with chicks and maybe leading them on a bit more, you know, by giving them a bit of attention. They get hooked to that attention. He can't really offer that attention for longer than like a couple weeks at a time. And then they get into this like, I need that attention type vibe. Rowan obviously explicitly said that she wanted to marry him. We'll see. I think Katie said something like that as well, but we'll see.
Just BPDing, and so I'm tweaking and need reassurance. Are you just having fun with me, or do we have something? To which I respond, well, I like you, and I think you're cool, and perhaps we even have something. However, I would make a bad boyfriend, so I don't really want to date anyone officially, I guess. Yeah. I was abundantly clear with my intentions with her. I did not want anything serious at that time. But apparently, this is the period she began to realize the true extent of my abuse, which is probably why after we had already hung out the second time, Katie tries to arrange a third meeting with me, saying she wishes that she was in Ohio, where I was at the time, and I did not reciprocate. After this proposition, she slid up on my Instagram story 12 times over the next 10 months, and I did not slide up on her story once, not a single time. So ask yourself, do these texts sound like a girl texting a guy that she finds evil and sadistic, a guy that she was even debating going to the police about? Because to me, it seems crystal clear that she enjoyed our time together and even wanted to hang out a third time. You got to keep in mind here, she flew across the entire North American continent twice, from California to Maine, to see me. After the second time, she wanted me to be her boyfriend. I didn't want to, and she then repeatedly made efforts to contact me and hang out with me again. Now, to close off the video, I think I'd like to share some interesting texts that Rowan sent me about her dear friend Katie, as they're both accusing me of, I mean, whatever it is they're even trying to say at this point. After she saw that I was following Katie on Instagram, she messaged me on December 8th saying, "Did you know Clorox Katie tried to fuck Jet Neptune? Those girls too make themselves easy targets with the hair and piercings because they have sexual trauma." She then says, "They complain about sexual assault a lot because they will fuck anything that breathes." 1 month and 2 days later, I broke up with Rowan, and in the middle of her unhinged tirade about me, she told me that she would be messaging as many girls I had been with as possible to try and find whatever dirt she could so that she could run to the internet about it. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things to the effect of, Tom's a hypocrite. He gooned. And you're right. I did goon. Okay. I did not stop gooning. So maybe in the end, the hats are more relevant than ever. Anyway, that's about it. I've said everything I need to. Goodbye.
I think that's total Turkey Tom victory. I think our boy is good. I think he's fine. I think he's been cleared. Okay. Look, a lot of people over the course of the month that I've been really active on YouTube have been asking me, why won't you cover this? Why won't you offer your opinion on this? And I've answered that question the same way. I'm very biased. Like, I cannot deny that I am a biased person in this case. What I was worried about, and I'll be super clear about this, I was worried that he recorded these girls without their consent, that he was fucking with girls that didn't want to be recorded and recording them anyways. Given Rowan consistently talking about wanting to be recorded with meta classes, given that she had even requested to receive the videos, was sending additional nudes, videos of herself, same thing that Katie was doing. These don't seem like people that were particularly worried about the content being leaked or sent around, or B, people that felt like they had been non-consensually recorded. That's the vibe. That's the energy I'm getting from the text messages. Ultimately, I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe. It's possible. But the reality is you got to look at what's likely. You got to look at from our perspective as the audience, as we watch one person say one thing in their text messages, decide to show certain text messages and not others, and then Tom show his text messages and maybe not others. We don't know. Based off of the evidence, the information, the text messages, the screenshots that we've seen, you have to come to your own conclusion. I personally, maybe it's because I'm biased, maybe it's because I just watched a 41-minute video that kind of changed my perspective on the things that I was seeing previously. I've come to the conclusion that I find it hard to believe that these girls were not into whatever recording was happening, okay? I just don't believe that. If these girls can come out with something that explicitly shows that consent was never given, maybe that's something. I don't know how you come up with that type of evidence, though. The other thing is, there's this big, why is Tom gatekeeping all of the videos and stuff that he took with these women, but he's not sharing them with these women? As we now have seen, one of the women, Rowan, decided to share a photo of her and Tom having sex with the Kiwi Farms owner. Regardless of how you feel, that is a violation of Tom's consent. And so it validates Tom not having sent anything to her. Stuff that I was less so interested in were the, aggressive sex stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, what two consenting people decide to do together, it's not really up to me. But again, there's a lot of text messages supporting that Rowan was not scared of this or was not enjoying it, but rather asking for it a lot in text messages. So look, at the end of the day, the allegations that these girls had were always going to be a lot more difficult to prove, given the way that these allegations typically go down. You're never going to have evidence of a lack of consent when it comes to video, right? Unless the videos get leaked, and in those videos, you see that there's no consent. You see that they're not engaging with the camera or aware of the camera, or that they're out of it completely. So ultimately, with these allegations, it comes down to whatever evidence we do have, in this case, text messages on both sides, and whoever you believe more. Do you believe these women more? Do you believe this man more? Personally, I was always going to be a little bit more slanted towards Tom. I've watched the video now. Compared to the evidence that I was looking into from the women, I find it really hard to believe that Tom did anything overtly wrong or particularly bad. I think if I were to give my biggest criticisms of Tom, it would be that he was getting into relationships, not necessarily boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, but just relationships with women where he was just not able to be emotionally available. And if that's something that I'm criticizing him for, then listen, those types of things happen, unfortunately, and it's not good. I'm not saying it's good. You know, when you're in your 20s, when you're a young person and you're hooking up with people or you're getting into relationships or it's not clearly defined what the relationship is, there's always going to be that ambiguity and that tension between people, and people can get hurt from that. Unfortunately, that can happen, and that seems to have happened here. And how you handle that hurt speaks volumes to your character. And I think some people can deal with that. And I think in this case, she couldn't. And I think she decided to get some form of retribution. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. Anyways, that's my perspective on this whole situation. Cue the comments saying that I glazed Tom and that I was super biased, and yeah. Anyways, ladies and gents, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.